Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you all to the 18th Annual Tallgrass Film Festival. Thank you all for watching and for tuning into the festival. We also would like to extend a special thank you to all of our sponsors. We could not be doing this without you. If you are enjoying your Tallgrass experience, please let everyone know on Facebook and Instagram. Tag us at Tallgrass Film and use the hashtag Tallgrass2020. I'd like to welcome to the Zoom today from the film Out of Stock, the director, Brian Tyra, and producer, Mariah Hall. Hi, Brian and Mariah. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us. We're so excited.
Thank you.
Tallgrass is the best festival in the world.
Thank you so much. Well, Mariah, I wanted to start out by asking you, so you are actually a former EPA Emerging Programmer Apprentice of Tallgrass Film Festival. I wanted to ask you a little bit about your experience with the EPA and how it led you to where you are now.
Yeah, so that's actually where I started. I started going to Tallgrass when I was 12, and then they founded the EPA program when I was 14, and I was in the first group to ever do that, and then did it for 3 or 4 years throughout high school. And that led to, I was a programmer for Tallgrass for a year, and then I started programming for the Newport Beach Film Festival, and just graduated college and got a job. So it's all thanks to Tallgrass's EPA program.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I love Tallgrass with my whole heart, and the EPA program has grown and blossomed so much, and it's a really incredible program now.
Yeah, well, we're so excited to see a success story like that. But of course, because all that you're doing is so incredible, and we're so excited to have you as an alum of our program. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the film. So there's some unexpected relevancy in 2020 that all of a sudden sort of came around, probably about when you guys were finishing up the film in post, I would imagine. We've got the toilet paper shortages that happened this year, and did you have any idea when you were making the film how relevant it would be this year?
No idea. Although people are blaming us that we caused it or predicted it, I just want to put it out there that we did not. We have been planning this movie for like 2 years now, and it just happened that when we were finishing sound, the toilet paper crisis of 2020 hit. So it was weirdly relevant timing, especially right as we were finishing up the movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you said you started planning this about 2 years ago. What was your guys' inspiration for making the film?
My dad, actually. The 70s has always been my favorite decade, so I was making him tell me 70s stories, and he just threw out there that there was a toilet paper crisis that happened in the early 70s, and I did not believe him because that sounded, at the time, like the most ridiculous thing that had ever happened, and I thought it was really funny, so I pitched the idea to Brian, and he also likes ridiculous comedy, so we teamed up and decided to make a movie about the original now, not the only, the original toilet paper crisis.
The first one.
I heard toilet paper shortages and I was immediately on board.
Yeah, of course. It sounds so ridiculous, and then now it's like, yeah, that's our life. So your dad lived through the original toilet paper shortage? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it lasted over a month in the 70s. And I don't think many people remember it now. I feel like more people remember this one. Yeah. But no, it was just kind of caused by Johnny Carson's joke. So it just kind of spread throughout the country, and some people remember it, but it wasn't as big as this one for sure.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And we were talking a little bit too before I hit record about some of the other relevant things that sort of happened in 2020 that, there's so many layers to the film that I'm finding as I'm thinking about it, that, it's almost like a virus swiping through all of these different people and that make them obsessed with the toilet paper, and the protests that happened during the film, and the owner of the store getting richer as the pandemic goes on. Yeah, I'm now a little suspicious. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's so interesting that it became so relevant this year. I want to talk a little bit about the casting process for the film. You guys had some really amazing performers in here that really brought a lot to those characters. Can you talk a little bit about finding them?
Yeah, it was a good process. It was just pretty normal as far as it goes. We posted on some just casting Facebook groups as well as like backstage casting, and we got a lot of results. Especially for the main character of Julie, played by Ray. It was just kind of crazy because it's like we knew that we wanted someone like her to be in this role, and it was just great that we had someone come in and audition. It was like perfect right from the get-go. I think the craziest casting that we had though was for our character Floyd, played by Jake Frazier. It was I don't know if you want to speak about this, Mariah, because you had to deal with most of the issues that came about it, but essentially like we kind of got him like last minute, like a week before shooting. And he just turned out perfect. He was everything we imagined when we wrote the script all the way up until filming. He was just so great.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys, they really brought those characters to life, and I absolutely loved Julie's like character arc throughout, and kind of becoming that larger than life, like standing up to the man person at the end.
Yeah. That's
so
really what it was. We were like, we need someone to fight the man.
Yeah.
She becomes like a superhero at the end of it. She's just so
yeah,
bad.
absolutely.
Kicks down the door, leads the charge. It's great.
Yeah, that's the best part of the film is, you're just like, yes. I really liked the setting was so perfect too. You guys, it really felt like we were in the 70s in this like little mom and pop style grocery store. Can you talk about finding that and how long, like maybe filming in that grocery store and how long you guys filmed for in there?
Yeah, so we had our heart set on that grocery store. It was just a couple blocks down from my house at the time, and we hadn't found any other grocery store that looked 70s at all. So it was really lucky that we stumbled upon something that still had appliances from the late 70s even.
Yeah.
And we filmed there for 3 days, and they actually kept the store open while we were filming. So we basically tore the whole store down and filled it with 70s products, and then customers would come in and we'd try and help them navigate the store covered in toilet paper. But it was a really fun weekend of trying to run a store, keep a store open, and also film this insane movie in it.
I can imagine. They get confused by the sign. It says how much toilet paper is.
Yeah.
Get a lot of questions. A lot of people would just come in, see that the store was a mess, and then just turn around and walk out.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine that. That's really great. So the look of the film really had that 70s feel too, beyond the set piece. Can you talk a little bit about like the filming process of it, of how you got it to have that 70s look to it?
Yeah, I feel like when pitched the film, the idea of filming it in the 70s was probably the biggest hurdle that I think we had to overcome, because if any little bit just felt off or like not really in that time period, it'd kind of throw everything else off. And really, we just have to give credit to our production designer and our wardrobe department, because I think that's really what sells the film is the fact that everyone's in proper 70s attire, running after each other. And then also in the background, it's like every appliance, like Mariah said, like even the scales in that grocery store were also from the 70s.
Oh, wow.
And just kind of keeping it consistent. We also got this like this old cash register from like the late 60s to like put into the grocery store as well. So like we really tried our best to kind of keep it in that period.
That sounds so exciting. That sounds really fun to like be able to play with all of that.
So fun.
Yeah.
and crazy, but it was really fun nonetheless.
And it really comes through in the
to
film.
The wardrobe department too, Eric, right? Like that sounds like such a fun experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. So you guys have some like nods to the famous horror scenes, and it really feels almost like a zombie movie at times, like a 70s 80s zombie movie. Can you talk a little bit about your decision to include those and kind of your inspiration behind that?
I think, okay. Well, I think it's like we wanted to make this movie, but we didn't really want it to be like a big poop joke at the end of the day, because like it could really fall off into just being like this poop comedy, like
Right.
ha 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 toilet paper.
Yeah.
But it's like this is like when you think the word crisis, it's like it's kind of funny if like everyone fully got so obsessed and like turned into zombies over the fact that these are just it's just toilet paper. It's such a silly idea, but to have everyone in that scene and the whole film just kind of take it seriously, I think is what makes it funny. And so I think we pushed for it to kind of go in that direction. And I think we've seen over like the last few years that like comedy and horror kind of do go well together at times. So we try to incorporate that as much as we could into the filming process.
Absolutely. Well, it really came through. I really liked the where he goes out the door in that hallway and gets taken by the rush of people. It was so great.
It's like, yeah, it's like that would be played out as like a seriously like scary moment, but
Oh
it's just
yeah.
funny in the end of the day.
Yeah. I think my favorite set piece in this is the toilet paper throne. The reveal of that was just, it almost gave me like chills. It was so cool. Can you talk about building that and your the filming of it and even just like sitting on it, how it felt to sit on a toilet paper throne?
It was glorious to sit on
Okay,
it.
good. I imagined it, but
It was like stacks of rolls of like 2 ply. It was so cushiony.
oh, good.
I think when we were like kind of developing the idea for it, like we knew we wanted it to escalate to like the point where like he does have this throne. So that was already kind of in the development process. And then for actually like building it, I made a scale model of it in Minecraft because
Oh wow, that's really smart though.
toilet paper rolls are like 5 inches by 5 inches. So I was like, oh, that's like a square. We could just do that in Minecraft. So then we did that and then figured out how many rolls we needed for the throne itself. So we like kind of bought roughly around the right amount. And then we spent like a few nights building it together. And like, so it's essentially just like a frame with like PVC pipes. And then the rolls just kind of like fall into those little sections.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then there's like an actual chair underneath it as well.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
It's not all toilet paper.
Yeah. I would have to imagine after like a couple times sitting on all toilet paper would just go, woo.
Yeah.
You could buy over 1,000 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah, I was going to ask about your toilet paper budget for this film. It had to be pretty big there.
Yeah.
1,000 rolls. That's amazing. So what happened to all the toilet paper afterward?
We sent it home with the crew in boxes.
Okay, good.
Everyone take a box home. Please, please use it. We don't need this anymore.
Perfect timing for that then. I bet none of your crew had to worry about any shortages that came up soon after.
They were stocked.
Good.
Everyone was stocked. It's funny because I'd get messages from people after being like, oh yeah, your toilet paper saved me this week.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's really wonderful. Well, it's such a wonderful film. Is there any next steps with it? Anything that you guys are working on in the future?
I'm kind of out of the production game now that I have. But Brian, I know, will make amazing movies in the future that can continue to play at Tallgrass.
Awesome. Well, that's what we like to hear. We love alumni over here. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me this afternoon. And anything that you guys want to plug, anything you want to talk about as we wrap things up here? No?
No, I just hope you enjoyed the film.
And the festival. We were going to travel to Tallgrass. I was going to come home for it, but this is still fun too over Zoom.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to get you guys back in the future for sure.
Yes,
get you guys to Tallgrass. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you all out there enjoyed our conversation today and enjoyed the film. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.